Ooh, boy, oh boy. Don't I have some records to talk about now? Yeah, it's been a minute. Let's get right into the intro now. Hello there, fellow vinyl collectors, vinyl community, record collectors, whatever you want to call yourself. It's your friendly neighborhood Eric Nigma here. Back after a little minute. Hasn't been too long as it was in between previous videos, but yes, I'm back with another vinyl video, as usual, about new additions to the vinyl collection. That's right, the ever-growing vinyl collection of mass amounts of records. We love them. We love them. We can't stop buying them. We love listening to them. And, it's music, man. We love music. Music lovers. That's what I forgot to mention. I forgot to mention you music lovers, music collectors of all sorts and whatnot. It doesn't even have to just be vinyl. It could be cassettes and CDs and whatever, instruments, basses, guitars, whatever. So yeah, I've been waiting on some records to come over the last few months, which is why I spent a little bit more time in between these videos, specifically the new editions videos. And there's some I was expecting. I knew they were on the way, and then there's still a couple that are I guess having some issues with pressings because of COVID and whatnot. So I don't know when I'll get those exactly. Just hope I get them eventually. But instead of waiting for everything I've ordered over the last few months to come, I just waited till I had at least 5 records for certain, and that's what we're gonna get into. We're gonna get into the 5 records, new records I have. And there's some very good ones. Let's just get into it. Enough talking, all right? First record. I talked about this band in my very first vinyl video, vinyl unboxing I've done, and it's Vane. I talked about Arizona. This is their latest release since Arizona, and it's a New Day and Old Machine. And this is basically, this is a few new songs. It's a couple new tracks, but it's mostly remixes and demos for stuff that was on Arizona, which is the record I already have on vinyl that I did an unboxing on with a few other records. But yeah, man, they announced this with a whole merch line too. I got some of the stuff. I think I have in the laundry actually that I got with this record. But yeah, man, I'm a big Vane fan to the point where it's just like, yeah, B-sides, demos, and a couple new songs, and you put it on vinyl. Sure, I mean, who knows when they'll have a new full-length album? Because you just never know with bands, man. And yeah, Vane is definitely one of my favorite new bands out here. And yeah, definitely wanted to grab it while I could. I think it's clear. It might be a mixture of some other colors. Yeah, it's a clear splatter. I think the Arizona vinyl is about the same thing. So yeah, but yeah, it's like I said, it's basically there's only like maybe 2 or 3 new songs on this, and everything else are songs from Arizona that are either the demos of them or remixes. But yeah, man, had to have it either way. Love Vane. Right, next record is the latest record from one of my favorite bands ever. You probably have already seen it, just me taking it out from the side. But yeah, it's Ohms by Deftones. Yes, this is the latest Deftones album, and so far this is the second Deftones album I have on vinyl. As big a fan as I am of Deftones, unfortunately, I do not have many of their records on vinyl. That is, the Deftones catalog is definitely one I need to get on vinyl. down the line. They're one of my favorite bands. They're top 5 for me of bands of all time. They're up there. And yeah, man, I definitely wanted to get this record on vinyl. They had released on vinyl. I made a promise to myself that I would do it because I've just for some reason have not. I don't have much, if any, almost any Deftones records on vinyl. I only have B-sides and rarities on vinyl. Got that on Record Store Day. And yeah, man, I I definitely need to fix that. This is a start in that direction. Now here's the thing though, have to be honest. Listen to my podcast. Shit, Not Another Music Podcast with Eric and Casey's. My friend Casey. Our first episode, we reviewed this record. And basically, to put it briefly, I said I liked it, but it didn't give me anything crazy new or wasn't really like top to bottom what I love from Deftones. It's a good Deftones album. That's pretty much it. But I'm not crazy about it. And that's okay. But there's definitely some good songs on here. Genesis, Ceremony, Urantia, I think that's how you say it. Papegi, Radiant City, Headless, and of course, the lead single, Ohms, title track Ohms, is really good. So there's some good songs on here. But it's not my favorite Deftones album at the moment. Maybe it'll grow on me over time. Deftones are definitely one of those bands that don't have a bad album in their catalog. I might need to sip this more, but I'm not crazy about it, I will say. But happy to have it in my collection, regardless, because I love Deftones, and that's a fact. It's not going to change anytime soon. So yeah. Next record is one of my favorite mixtapes of all time, and that is K.I.D.S by Mac Miller. Man, this is the project that got me into Mac Miller. I heard about Mac Miller through the XXL freshman list that he was part of, along with, I think it was Macklemore, or maybe Macklemore was a different year, but I know it was Mac Miller. I think it was Schoolboy Q or Absol. I can't remember exactly. I think it was Mac Miller. I think Kendrick Lamar was also on that list. But I just remember Mac Miller was one of the ones that I was like, let me check out and see what they're talking about, putting this dude on this list. And I watched a few music videos, dug the tracks. One of them was definitely Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza, and Knock Knock. Those were definitely the two where I was just like, I like this stuff. I like this shit. Went to Dat Piff. Dat Piff. If you know about Dat Piff, then you know what I'm talking about. I went to Dat Piff and I downloaded the mixtape, and the rest is history, man. Ever since then, I've been a diehard Mac Miller fan, man. He's a Pittsburgh dude. I'm a Morgantown, West Virginia. I'm a West Virginian. Dude, Morgantown's not that far from Pittsburgh. Yeah. So I support. On that note too, just also, man, it was just good. It's just a good project, kicking incredibly dope shit, man. Get 'em up, Nike's on my feet, Senior Skip Day, The Spins is one of my favorites. Paper Route, and of course Knock Knock, Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza, Facing Crowd. I mean, just this is a great mix. One of my favorite mixtapes of all time. Done at I.D. Labs, produced at I.D. Labs, which I've had the pleasure of going to. Super dope. Right after Mac passed away. And yeah, man, ever since this thing dropped, I've been following Mac Miller's career, to the untimely and unfortunate very end. And yeah, man, this is the game. This was the game changer for me. This was the one that made me say, this dude with cheesy raps is all right in my book. Yeah, man. Crazy that they even put this on vinyl, but yeah, I don't think, I don't remember if these are colored. I don't remember if any of these records are colored, but we'll see. Oh yeah, it's like a little kind of a army green kind of color, you know. Don't know if the other records like that. Yeah, they're both like that. Yeah. Everything's cardboard. It smells like too. Definitely gotta put that on the wall someday, man. Yeah. I have a lot of posters in records, in vinyl records that I need to, that, you know, once I get into some new walls, some fresh new walls, I'm definitely gonna put them up in for sure. This is definitely one of them, man. Yeah. R.I.P. the Mac. A lot of Malcolm, man. Yeah. All right. Next record is another one of my favorite records of all time. Not mixtape though. It's one of my favorite albums of all time, and that is From Under the Cork Tree by Fall Out Boy. Man, this is definitely one of my favorite albums from my teenage years, for certain. But the funny thing is, I did not really listen to this album like that back in my teenage years. Like, Fall Out Boy was definitely one of my favorite bands in high school, but I was kind of late to this entire album. I mean, of course, I knew stuff like Dance Dance, Sugar We're Going Down, you know, a little less 16 Candles, a little more Touch Me. You know, of course, I was familiar with the hits basically off this record and some of the deeper cut stuff on here. But I never listened to the full album until a few years later, after high school. The album that made me a super Fall Out Boy fan when I was in high school was actually on, Infinity on High. So whenever they do like a big 20th anniversary or whatever release reissue for that, you definitely know I got to get that, because that's my favorite Fall Out Boy album. The memories with that one, but this one, thanks for the memories. But this one though is definitely crucial if you're a Fall Out Boy fan too, because just, you know, this was the one that really blew him up, you know, and it's really great record, man. Just from Our Lawyers Made Us Change the name of the song so we wouldn't get sued, to the very last track, My Heart Is, well, wait, that's not on there. The Music or the Misery, I believe it's on there. I don't remember that being, yeah, whatever. To the very last track, whatever version you listen to. This is just one of those emo pop punk classics of the 2000s. And yeah, man, I love the fuck out of this record. Fall Out Boy is one of my favorite bands growing up. And yeah, I'm not gonna get into the recent stuff they've been doing. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about this though. Yeah, so yeah. Don't know. It's a gatefold. Love the gatefold. Check it out. Young Pete, Pat and the boys, Joe and Andy. Both records are, I believe, half black and red. And yeah, one of my favorite records by Fall Out Boy. You know, I guess I can't really say from my youth, but I mean, this was definitely an album I remember everyone talking crazy about, and you know, really hyping up, basically. And the singles were definitely a big deal for me. Like, I loved the singles back then when they were hot and fresh out. And it was, you know, the hype around this record, you know, at the time of its release, is what led me into, you know, going and buying Infinity on High, and, you know, seeing what they were about on that album, and falling in love with those guys and their music from then on, and just, you know, when you hear what else they got, they came out, they cranked out. So yeah, classic if you're in your 20s, mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s. I don't know, but yeah, definitely a classic pop punk emo record of the early 2000s. And the final record that we will be talking about for this video is probably arguably one of the best albums of 2020, of this year. It's been a crazy year. It's been a rough year, you know, for me, and I know for others in my life as well. But a lot of good music came out, though. A lot of really good music came out, and this record sums it all that up. The year and just how good the music was, despite how shit the year was. And that's Run the Jewels 4. Yes. Run the Jewels 4. I will go as far as saying this is probably my favorite Run the Jewels record. I like this one. Then I would say Run the Jewels 2 right afterwards, and probably Run the Jewels 3 right after that, and the first Run the Jewels be my least favorite. Not that it's bad or anything, but just I think the other ones following it are better. Especially this one, man. Yeah, you want to talk about a record that perfectly sums up this year and just the feeling of this year. Yeah, man, Killer Mike and LP killing it from top to bottom on every track. Ooh La La is one of my favorite songs of the entire year. Possibly one of my favorite RTJ songs, man. Look at this fucking... Ew, almost hit myself in the face. Man. Look at this. Shit. Shit is dope, man. Let's see. I think it's pink vinyl. Yep. Pink vinyl. It looks so nice, man. It looks so nice. Look at that shit. Yeah. Man, yeah, this is a killer album, man. If you have not heard it, I suggest you fix that. RTJ are one of the best things, not just in hip-hop, but in music in general, for real. This record is fucking awesome. Oh, man. Ah, man, look at the wrinkles. These are not good. I don't like that. But I can live with. But yeah, great record. So yeah, definitely. If you have not listened to RTJ 4, give it a listen. If you have never heard From Under the Cork Tree by Fall Out Boy, and you kind of like Fall Out Boy, or always wanted to listen to some of Fall Out Boy's best work, you don't know, or just some of their stuff and you don't know where to start, definitely start here. If you want to know why everyone loved Mac Miller and really cherished him, and why everyone misses him, this is a good project to start with. If you are wondering why people are talking about Deftones lately and why there's a lot of hype on Deftones, I would say I think this is a good record to give a listen, and then start making your way from the beginning of their catalog to this record. This is definitely a good one to give a listen if you've never listened to Deftones before. And definitely give Bane a listen. Listen to this, and then go listen to their album Error Zone that came out a few years ago. Definitely give these guys a shot. They're a fresh, relatively new band. They've been around for a few years, but you know, they're still fresh. And definitely support the motherfuckers, man. And yeah, that's it. Those are the new vinyl records in the collection. Yeah, you know, and that's about it, y'all. So yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video to any of your fellow vinyl collectors or vinyl enthusiasts, And yeah, man, that's about it, really. I'm Eric Nigma because you aren't, and that's okay. All right. Stay safe out there, y'all. Peace.